What's going on, boxing fans? Julian Williams here at the Distance prediction video. Highly anticipated Michael Katsidis versus Juan Manuel Marquez. This is a video I actually really hadn't done much research for the fight because I've been very busy this week, but I wanted to put this prediction out. So pretty much I'm doing this like I do most of my videos, pretty much on top of the head, analyzing both styles of both fighters. So overall, let's get into the fight. Michael Katsidis versus Juan Manuel Marquez matchup takes place November 27th. I believe it's going to be for the WBA Lightweight Championship. This has pretty much been a matchup we've been waiting for quite a while, for at least a year now, ever since Michael Katsidis defeated Vincent Escobedo on the undercard of Mayweather Marquez, which was September 18th of 2009. This is going to be an interesting matchup. Juan Manuel Marquez is coming off an impressive victory over Juan Diaz. Pretty much was a one-sided matchup. Juan Manuel Marquez pretty much controlling the whole fight against Diaz, and Michael Katsidis is coming off of a very impressive victory, third round knockout over Kevin Mitchell. Back in, I believe it was May 15th, he knocked him out in like 3 rounds. And Kevin Mitchell was a young, highly talented prospect, and a lot of people, were saying he should win this matchup. But Michael Katsidis, a lot of stories coming in this matchup that are coming into play, a lot of questions. How is Michael Katsidis, where is his head at, dealing with the death of his brother? He's continuing to fight on, and much respect to him for that. And I think that with this matchup, he's going to go the extra mile and the extra route to try to get the victory in this matchup. Opponents that they both have in common are Juan Diaz and Joel Casamayor. And Michael Katsidis has lost to both of these opponents. Juan Manuel Marquez has beaten both of these opponents. But the phrase is styles make fights. So what does Michael Katsidis have to do in this matchup to win? Now, Michael Katsidis has a style where he comes forward, he pressures, and he just comes to fight, from opening bell to ending bell. One thing that Michael Katsidis has to do is I think more so against the counterpuncher is going to wait for him to make mistakes. The counterpuncher is going to wait for him to attack. And honestly, he really in this matchup, he may want to counter the counterpuncher. He may want to kind of fight in spurts, but kind of wait for the counterpuncher. Make the counterpuncher a little nervous. But also, against Marquez who has wonderful timing with the right hand, especially with the right hook over the top. What Katsidis needs to do, he needs to move primarily to his left, effectively use the jab, go to the body, and pretty much just go all out in this matchup. He wants to take this fight to Marquez. He wants to come forward. He wants that. He just wants to pretty much be inside the whole fight. He wants to land, pretty good body shots. He wants to land uppercuts, hooks inside. He wants to outwork Juan Manuel Marquez inside. We've seen another matchup where Juan Manuel Marquez was outworked inside, and that was the first matchup against Juan Diaz. And I do personally believe that Katsidis is a tough fighter. I think that with this matchup, he's going to have a lot of determination due to the death of his brother. I think he should just outwork him inside, and not necessarily just outwork him inside, but maybe land some shots from the outside. Try to land the overhand right. Use the jab to set it up. Get inside. Go to the body. Go for the uppercut. And also a little more head movement, because Katsidis doesn't really move the head much, and his opponent moves his head for him. But Katsidis just needs to pretty much go all out in this matchup, have a tough matchup, and from round to round, give a valiant effort, and just go inside and just go to the body, go up top, mix the shots up, and just take it to Marquez. Take it to Marquez. Continue to fight, and even if his punches get in between his punches, just continue throwing, outwork him, out jab him, overhand right. These these are shots that he's going to need to throw. He's going to need to cut off the ring and not give Marquez any room to counter all too much. So I think that's what Michael Katsidis needs to do in this matchup. Juan Manuel Marquez pretty much wants to keep this fight at a mid-range. He wants to kind of stay outside, and I think he wants to be a little more aggressive with this matchup against a fighter that's always going to come forward, a fighter that's always going to be there to fight. Even with Katsidis, even if he's hurt, he's going to continue to fight. He's going to continue to come forward. And and Marquez in this matchup, Marquez just wants to pretty much outbox him. He wants to focus on outboxing Katsidis. He wants to outthink him. He wants to get his shots off first in this matchup. He doesn't want to wait all too much for Katsidis, because if he waits for Katsidis, Katsidis is going to take advantage of it, and like I said, probably try to outwork him or rough him up inside maybe. But in this match, Marquez wants to stay outside. He wants to land his jab. He wants to he wants to land the counter right hand. Also in this matchup, he does need to be he kind of needs to be well aware of that Katsidis trying to get inside. So he wants to kind of use a little bit of lateral movement. He wants to move. Actually, he just wants to move a lot. He wants to move a lot, and he wants to use his jab to create openings, set up little traps to find his counter shots. And I think he can, if he sets up little traps, I don't think Katsidis will throw as much. More than likely, he might. But at the same time, we don't know what's going to happen in this matchup with Katsidis. We don't know if we're going to see a different Katsidis. But in this specific matchup, he wants to outbox him. Use a lot of movement, use a lot of jabs. He wants to be effective with the jabs, be effective with the counter shots, be effective with every power shot that he throws, but he doesn't want to wait all too much. But we know Katsidis is going to be aggressive, so there's going to be a lot of countering opportunities. But more than likely counter and use the jab. That's going to be Marquez, pretty much his primary weapons in this matchup. A lot to go into this matchup. I've been really back and forth with this matchup for the last 2-3 weeks on how I was going to go about this matchup. When I think about this matchup, I think of all that Katsidis is going through, because that's really the primary story of this matchup. The story of this matchup is not how good is Juan Manuel Marquez. Does he warrant a matchup against a third matchup with Manny Pacquiao? But really the story of this matchup also, another thing that's not the story of this matchup is Michael Katsidis. We've been wanting to see this matchup for a while. How will Michael Katsidis do against Juan Manuel Marquez? How much has Katsidis improved since his last loss in September 26 of 2008 against Juan Diaz? How much has Katsidis improved since 2008 when he had 2 back-to-back losses? Those are not the stories of this matchup. The story of this matchup is, how is Michael Katsidis going to do dealing with the death of his brother? That's pretty much something that's kind of overshadowing the fight. That's something that more than likely the commentators may be talking about. Is Michael Katsidis, how is he dealing with his brother's death? Did he not take the time off that he more than likely needed to deal with his brother's death? That's something that we're all thinking about, more so than the fight, pretty much. And to be honest, a man who is going through hell, a man who has a lot of heart, and a man with a lot of determination is a dangerous man in the ring. Now, I'm going to say that I think that Juan Manuel Marquez is going to win this matchup, but I would like Katsidis to win with all that he's going through. It would be nice for him to win, a nice reward for him to win this matchup with all that he's going through. I'd like Michael Katsidis to win, because my hat goes off to him for coming out and entertaining us boxing fans, even though he's going through tragedy and he's going through a loss right now. So I'm going to say Juan Manuel Marquez wins, but we're going to have a very dangerous, this is going to be a very dangerous fight for him, because like I said, a man with all those factors, is going to be a dangerous fighter. A man with determination and is going through hell is a dangerous fighter. Now, Katsidis could take this fight one of two ways. He could be sad and upset by the fight, or he could use this fight as a catalyst to go the extra mile. And I think that Katsidis, with his style and a fighter that likes to fight and continue to come forward, he's going to go the extra mile in this matchup. That's just, what I think. I think he's going to go the extra mile with the style that he fights at. But I think that Juan Manuel Marquez is going to pull this fight off. I think he's going to pull off the victory. But don't be surprised if Katsidis comes in the early rounds and outworks him. But I think Marquez will take it in the later rounds and win it by a unanimous decision. So anyway, guys, that was The Distance. Thanks for watching. Peace.